Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run through the weather warnings as we do have another thunderstorm warning issued today, third consecutive day of thunderstorm warnings. This warning through parts of central, eastern and northern England through today, with a widespread heavy shower and thunderstorm risk of course focused in that region. So we'll have a look at that in the first half of the video, and also have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days on the UKV, as it's looking continually showery, at least for the next 24 hours. We could see 2 or 3 days of dry weather, perhaps Friday, Saturday, and in for the east on Sunday, before we see rain move in again, and it's looking likely, as we're seeing the GFS, GM, ECMWF and the Ensembles, that we're going to see a cut-off low developing as we head towards the middle of the month, around the 15th to 20th of the month. A cut-off low developing over Europe, which will just continue to give generally cold conditions for the UK, with winds coming in from the north or the east, and it will give a lot of showers as well. Not looking great for any warmer or dry weather. Like I've continued to say that for the last few weeks, just because every single time there's ever a break in the weather, ever a change in the weather, it's always just something a little bit worse. So remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well. The link's in the description. So if you do start on the live radar, you can see convection is always already taking place as I'm recording this around 11 AM in the morning. We do have the deepest convection right now across parts of northern England, into parts of the Midlands, Yorkshire, up into near the Scottish borders. Again, a few heavy cells breaking out here so far, but really just the beginnings of another day of quite significant convection. A few heavy showers breaking out near the London area. Again, a few isolated cells, very localised, and again these will become larger and more widespread. Showers down to the southwest, no really thunder activity there, and the same into Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, just showing you the overall convective pattern. Again, the main thunderstorm risk is in that eastern portion and northern portion of England through the rest of this afternoon. Now, if I do put on the temperatures, as I said, it's around 11 AM, so it's not going to be too warm yet, but you can see the best conditions really in the far east, again escaping any of that cloud and rain that we're seeing across parts of the Midlands and northern England, and the pop-up showers we're seeing further southwards as well. So best conditions really where you avoid those showers today, but they are once again going to be widespread, so it's going to be really hit and miss with those temperatures today, unfortunately. If you look at the weather warnings now, you can see this yellow thunderstorm warning stretching from eastern England through the Midlands into northern England, and it is in force from 11:30 today, so in sort of about 10 or 20 minutes time from when I am recording this. And again, you can see heavy showers and thunderstorms likely to cause travel disruption and flooding again from 11:30 until 7 PM this evening. If you look at the further details again, heavy showers will develop quite widely later this morning and afternoon, hail and lightning accompanying the showers in some places, and some of these showers will be slow moving, and 10 to 20 millimetres of rain is likely to fall in less than an hour in some places, while a few spots could see as much as 20 to 50 millimetres of rain in 2 to 3 hours. The same warning impact matrix as we have seen the last couple of days. As we'll see in the UKV in a minute, we will be seeing something perhaps slightly different today with the thunderstorms. They could be, as the Met Office warning stated here, a lot slower moving, which could give more issues in terms of rainfall. A lot of the thunderstorms over the last 2 days or so have rattled through quite quickly from west to east. These could be a lot slower moving, so it'll be very interesting what the UKV is showing today. We did highlight this in yesterday's video, that they could perhaps be very slow moving today, and it's because the low pressure is sliding through Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, which will mean to our east, where the showers are developing, it is pretty slow moving. Again, the wind is trying to drive those showers into the north, but the low pressure system is moving southwards, and they sort of counterbalance each other in terms of formation and movement of the thunderstorms, meaning a lot of that instability does stay pretty stationary. A lot of that rain could stay quite stationary. So if you do move into this afternoon, you see those thunderstorms developing, and they are very slow moving. You can see there over the first couple of hours, they don't really move anywhere. Of course, they appear and they disappear and reappear as you get with convection. So, of course, we will see that where thunderstorms do decay. But when we get some multi-celled systems, large areas of rain, which look likely through the afternoon as the thunderstorms do mature, they could really stay pretty stationary in a few spots. So a lot of rain could fall in a short space of time. But equally, on the other hand, if you're in an area where you're not seeing any thunderstorm activity around you, then you may stay pretty dry for most of the day. So if you do head through the rest of the evening, you see eventually the thunderstorms do degrade away. Around that 4-5 p.m. they start to really decay away, with most showers being gone around that 7-8 p.m. point. Through the rest of the evening, it's looking pretty dry, and as we head into Friday, we could see a bit of rain skirt the east coast there as it does progress through in the afternoon. Again, uncertainty exactly with that small little upper trough will be causing that, but most areas will be pretty dry through tomorrow. Unfortunately, just that thicker cloud and a bit of rain in the south and the east. As we do progress into Saturday, it will be a pretty dry day once again into Saturday, with those temperatures responding most likely in the sunshine, and we'll look at those temperatures in a minute. A few odd heavy showers could be across the far south. Again, could be a bit of a convergence zone there, sea breeze combining with the onshore breeze, and that will cause convection in that sort of convergence zone. So it could be a few showers there, but elsewhere reasonably dry. As we move into Sunday, weather front moves in, so heavy rain in the north and the west, but as I said, the far east could hold on to the best conditions through the afternoon. A few heavy showers could break out, but by around 6 p.m, heavy cloud and turning into more widespread rain, and that continues into Monday, where the weather front really is slow moving to clear, and even by Monday at 3 p.m, many areas in the east are still under that cloud and rain before eventually clearing, and this is when we start to have that cut-off low develop to our southeast. You can see that there is lower pressure there. We're dragging in cold air in off the North Sea, and you can see the upper air temperatures are not too cold at the moment. Look at that 5 or 6 degrees at Andrew HPA, but come early next week, look at the upper air temperatures dropping down below freezing. Again, that's not ridiculously cold for the UK, considering we get down to -5 or lower in the winter, but for the middle of May, that is really quite cold, a good few degrees plus below average, so 5 degrees below average, if not a bit more in a few spots where those upper air temperatures drop lower than -1. So really quite cool, and it will be dragging in showers in the daytime as well. We get some convection taking place. Now, if you do look at the max temperatures, you can see through today, where we do avoid the showers, could be 16, 17 or 18 degrees. We'll be warm in that sunshine, but the air probably won't have enough time really to heat up when we have cloud and rain around. As we head into tomorrow, I thought it could have been a pretty reasonable day, but because of that cloud and rain in the south and the east, can hold those temperatures at 10 or 11 degrees, a real reversal as that rain and cloud in that sort of extensive positioning has only really developed in the last 24 or 48 hours or so. Further northwards and westwards, where you're escaping that easterly flow in that little low pressure system, 18 or 19 degrees, so it could be really a pleasant day through parts of Wales, southwest England, western Scotland, the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, with a lot of central and east England really suffering. As we do into Saturday, hopefully things will recover a little bit better as we do head into the afternoon. Again, the far northeast still pretty low as we do start to see northeasterly winds start to arrive, but elsewhere 18 to 20 degrees, so a widely pretty warm day on Saturday, apart from those far eastern coasts. However, into Sunday, things will start to come a bit worse. As we head into Sunday afternoon, we could see 18 or 19 in the far east, but you can see into that cloud and rain further westwards, struggling into the low double digits, and that is not a good sign for Monday, where likely into the afternoon, temperatures are suffering. Look at that, 15 or 16 degrees at best through South Wales, most areas 12 or 13, and across the far east into the London area, 8 to 10 degrees. Really cold for the time of year. That will be coats out again for that, unfortunately. That would be really, really quite chilly, especially under that heavy rain and miserable conditions. And that's what a cut-off low can do this time of year, drag in cold air and give slow-moving bands of cloud and rain. And that's what we're likely to see as we head into next week, unfortunately. So if we do now have a look at the GFS and see what that is producing over the course of the next couple of weeks. Again, the low pressure sliding in at the moment. Eventually, we see that secondary low move in and the cut-off low to our southeast starts to develop. Again, here is a bit more of a mixed bag. You can see a bit of low pressure out towards Germany, down towards Italy, and more in towards the North Sea too, and that's dragging that cold northeasterly flow in, and we continue to see northeasterly or easterly flows all the way to the end of the week before eventually high pressure could build in. But still, it's not sat over the top of us, so still be a shower risk, and it could still be cool at times. Right towards the end of the run, you could see high pressure properly build in, but still nothing particularly warm and dry. Now, if you look at the upper air temperatures, you can see that cool air spreading in on Monday, below freezing at 850 HPM. We stay in that cold air under that low pressure system all the way perhaps to the end of the week, before eventually Atlantic systems move in, but equally they're replaced by cooler air once again beyond that. So even though things could turn a little bit drier, perhaps a little bit warmer towards the end of the run, still cooler air masses dominating the end of or the start of next week through most of the working week next week, and perhaps prevailing longer than that. If you look at the GM now, again, low pressure moving in at the moment. The second low moves in through Monday, and we see that low pressure develop down towards southeast Europe. Now, it's quite far away, so perhaps not as much of a shower risk here as we anticipated, but still I've got a strong northeasterly wind coming in off the North Sea. It'll be really cold early next week. Eventually high pressure does build in, but once again it is pulling in a brisk easterly wind further southwards, so it could be pretty decent in the north, but in the south it will be cold still with that. If we do pull in the upper air temperatures, initially you can see cold air does move in under the easterly flow there, and eventually towards the longer range. Actually, that air isn't all too cold. I must give that props to the GEM here. Not too cold here with the upper air temperatures, but we must remember upper air temperatures don't always replicate towards the surface, so it still probably will be a little bit chilly along those east coast. The same how through the next couple of days we do start to bring that northeasterly wind, as we saw in the UKV. Areas to the south and west were 20 degrees with the upper air temperatures, but on the east coast only 11 or 12 because of that North Sea breeze, even though the upper air temperatures were still pretty warm. So we do have to take that into account, but GM definitely looking like quite a warm run here compared to what I've seen recently and what we'll see from the Ensemble members in a minute. So if you see from the ECMWF now, again, low pressure really moving in through Monday, developing into that low out into the North Sea, down in towards Europe as well. Again, a bit of a mixed system here. One low pressure system down towards Italy and the Mediterranean and Sicily down there, another out towards Denmark and Northern Europe. All of it combining to give an unsettled northeasterly flow. As we head towards day 10, still pulling in a generally northerly flow. Again, not quite as strong, and we're seeing another Atlantic system move in. So not much improvement here from the ECMWF. And again, if we put on the air masses, you can see it's not too bad at the moment, but that cold air moves in next week. It stays pretty cold all this sort of Thursday, Friday time, and even beyond that, it doesn't terribly warm up at all as we head towards the following weekend. Now, if you finish by looking at the ensembles, you can see over the next couple of weeks, it's generally average to below average, especially the next 10 days. Again, hovering around average over the next few days, and that's why we could see 18 to 20 degrees. It's still a fairly warm air mass. But as we head into next week, around that Monday time, look at those upper air temperatures plunging down towards freezing at 850 HPA, really quite cold, and quite a lot of precipitation as well. Most likely showers, so could be pretty miserable in places. Beyond that, the upper air temperatures do increase to around average into the foreseeable future, but still quite a bit of precipitation associated with that. Again, if we look at the sea level pressure, you can see a bit of a dip next week, but we're actually generally under higher pressure. But we're not under terribly high pressure, if that makes sense. It's sort of only just about high pressure. Still got little upper troughs, little systems that do develop those showers. Because even at the moment, it's around 1,015 millibars through today, but we're still seeing big thunderstorms develop. So yeah, not looking great. And again, we put in the 2-meter temperatures really suffering next week. You can see maybe 18 or 19 degrees today. Tomorrow, suffering quite a bit more, down to that 11 or 12 degree mark with that rain in the southeast, unfortunately. And then into the weekend could be a bit better for early next week, or next working week, struggling around that 13 to 15 degree mark, and that's probably not taking into account precipitation, which would hold those temperatures back even more. Now, if you look at the ECMWF, do we have cross model consensus? And we do for the next 10 days at least. Average over the next 3 or 4, well below average early next week with a lot of precipitation, even more precipitation than the GFS had proportionally, and those spikes are higher as well. And in the longer term, it does trend more towards average or above average, but stays fairly unsettled. So it's not looking great over the next week. We could have a decent day tomorrow for areas outside of the far southeast. We could have a widespread decent day on Saturday, apart from maybe a few thundery showers in the far south. And into Sunday will be decent in the east through the first half of the day before rain does move in. And for western areas, it'll be pretty much a deluge from early morning. So there could be some glimpses of something decent over the next sort of 3 or 4 days. But as we head into next week, it will be showery, it will be cold, and it will be pretty miserable for many areas. Those temperatures, as I said, struggling at times to even get into the double digits. Again, it's still a good few days away, so things can still change, but I think the overall pattern won't change all too much. It will generally be cool and unsettled. We'll just have to see how cold it will be, how rainy it will be, and how those two things line up. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you stay safe out there in the thunderstorms through the rest of today, and I'll see you again for another video soon.